My name is David Carter, and I'm the kind of man who measures success in calluses and overtime hours. 43 years old, 15 years married, 2 kids, and a lifetime of honest work that never made the evening news, but always made the mortgage payment. I supervise the night shift at Brennan Logistics, a warehouse on the industrial edge of Columbus, where 18-wheelers dock like metal whales and we gut them of their cargo until dawn breaks over the loading bays. I met Melissa 17 years ago in a campus coffee shop near Ohio State. I was 26, working construction during the day and finishing my business degree at night. Not because I had grand ambitions, but because my old man always said a degree was insurance against a broken back. She sat in the corner booth every Tuesday and Thursday, surrounded by Norton anthologies and yellow highlighters, writing notes in margins with the kind of focus that made the whole chaotic world fade away. Beautiful in that natural way that didn't need explanation or enhancement. Brown hair that caught the afternoon light, green eyes that actually saw you when she looked up from her books. "You're blocking my light," she'd said when I finally worked up the nerve to approach her table. "Sorry, I'd stepped aside, feeling like an idiot in my paint-stained jeans and work boots. "I'm kidding," she replied with a smile that made something in my chest reorganize itself permanently. "Sit down. You look like you need coffee more than I do." We married 2 years later in her parents' backyard. Nothing fancy, just family, a few friends, and promises we thought we understood. By then, I'd moved from construction to the warehouse, starting on the floor, learning every position from unloading to inventory to dispatch. Melissa taught high school English for a few years before our son Jake arrived, followed by our daughter Emma 2 years later. After Emma's birth, we did the math and realized daycare would eat most of Melissa's salary, so she stayed home. Made sense at the time. Made sense for 15 years. Our house sits on Maple Grove Drive, a street of similar 2 stories with attached garages and lawns that turn brown every August no matter how much you water them. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, a mortgage that'll be paid off when I'm 62 if everything goes right. The kitchen table came from Melissa's grandmother, solid oak that survived 3 moves and countless family dinners. That table held birthday cakes and homework assignments, tax returns, and Christmas cards. Jake carved his initials under the edge when he was 7, thinking we wouldn't notice. Emma spilled nail polish on one corner that left a permanent pink stain shaped like a butterfly. Every morning for 15 years, I'd wake at 5 a.m. for the day shift or 5 p.m. for the night shift, and Melissa would have coffee ready. Black, 2 sugars, in the Ohio State mug Jake bought me for Father's Day when he was 10. She'd kiss me goodbye at the door, quick, automatic, but still there, still counting for something. "Drive safe," she'd say. "Always do," I'd answer back. The warehouse isn't glamorous work. It's forklifts and pallet jacks, shipping manifests and damaged freight claims. It's a bad back by 40 and carpal tunnel by 45, but it's also steady paychecks and decent benefits. Time and a half on holidays, and a pension that still means something. I worked my way up from floor associate to shift lead to supervisor, each promotion meaning a little more money for soccer camps and school supplies, for fixing the roof and replacing the water heater. 15 years of this. 15 years of birthdays and anniversaries, of Jake's baseball games and Emma's dance recitals. 15 years of Saturday morning pancakes and Sunday pot roasts, of fighting over the thermostat and apologizing with flowers from the grocery store. 15 years of Melissa falling asleep on the couch watching Netflix, and me covering her with the throw blanket her mother knitted. I thought we were solid. Not perfect, what marriage is, but solid. The kind of solid that weathers economic downturns and teenage rebellions, medical scares and mortgage refinancing. The kind of solid you build one day at a time, one shift worked, one dinner shared, one goodnight kiss at a time. Tonight I'm driving home from another overtime shift. Midnight has come and gone, and the streets are empty except for the occasional semi headed for I-71. The radio plays classic rock turned low. Springsteen singing about glory days while I think about the irony. My knees hurt from 12 hours on concrete floors. My head throbs from dealing with a shipping error that sent half our electronics inventory to Dayton instead of Detroit. But I'm heading home. To my wife, to my kids, to the life I've spent every waking hour building and maintaining. The house is dark when I pull into the driveway. Jake's bicycle lies on its side in the yard. I'll talk to him about that tomorrow. The porch light is on, but that's automatic. On a timer I installed myself last spring. I use my key quietly, not wanting to wake anyone. The silence feels different tonight. Heavier. Like the house is holding its breath. The note waits on the kitchen table, folded once, my name written on the outside in Melissa's careful script. At first I think it's a reminder about something. Pick up milk. Don't forget Emma's orthodontist appointment. Jake needs new cleats. I'm already reaching for a beer from the refrigerator when I unfold it. David, I can't do this anymore. I've reconnected with Mark, my high school love. He's wealthy, and he can give me the life I deserve. Don't come looking for me. I'm done struggling. All it takes is one note on the kitchen table to burn down a lifetime. The kitchen chair creaks when I sit down. Same chair I've sat in for 15 years, but tonight it feels like a stranger. Everything feels like a stranger. The refrigerator's hum, the tick of the wall clock, the smell of the lavender potpourri Melissa keeps on the windowsill. Kept past tense already. Mark. The name punches through my skull like a railroad spike. I knew about Mark, of course. First love, high school sweetheart, the one who got away. Every marriage has those ghosts. Melissa mentioned him maybe 3 times in 15 years, always in passing, always with that little laugh that meant the subject was closed. His family had money, real money, not warehouse supervisor money. Last I heard, which was years ago, he'd inherited his father's manufacturing business up in Cleveland. He can give me the life I deserve. What life was that exactly? The life where someone else makes Emma's Halloween costumes by hand? Where someone else sits through Jake's rain-delayed baseball games? Where someone else holds your hair back when the stomach flu hits? I'm done struggling. Struggling. Is that what we were doing? I thought we were living. I thought we were raising our kids and paying our bills and saving for retirement and doing what millions of families do every single day. But apparently, that was struggling. I read the note one more time, then folded it carefully along its original crease. Evidence. That's what this is now. Evidence. The house creaks around me the way houses do at night. Jake's room is above the kitchen. I can hear the fan he runs for white noise. Emma's room faces the street. Their doors are closed, but I know exactly how they're sleeping. Jake sprawls like a starfish, blankets kicked off. Emma curls into a ball, hugging the stuffed elephant she's had since she was 3. They don't know their mother is gone. I climb the stairs on autopilot. Our bedroom, my bedroom, is exactly as I left it 12 hours ago. Bed made because Melissa always insisted. Her reading glasses on the nightstand next to a paperback romance novel with a shirtless man on the cover. Her robe on the hook behind the door. The closet door stands open. Half the hangers are empty. She took her favorites, the dresses she wore to parent-teacher conferences, the blouses she said made her feel confident. Left behind are the everyday clothes, the mom jeans, and the sweatshirts with mysterious stains. The practical shoes remain, the heels are gone. Her jewelry box sits empty on the dresser. The bathroom cabinet has gaps where her expensive face creams used to live. She planned this. This wasn't a moment of passion or a breakdown. She packed carefully, selectively. She chose what to take to her new life and what to leave in her old one. I don't sleep. I sit in the living room with the lights off, watching the street through the window. Every car that passes could be her, coming back to say it was a mistake, a moment of insanity. But the cars keep going, red taillights disappearing around the corner. At 3 a.m., I call in sick to work for the first time in 3 years. Joaquin, the night supervisor, doesn't ask questions. Maybe he hears something in my voice. At 5 a.m., I make coffee. Black, 2 sugars, in the Ohio State mug. It tastes like ash. At 6 a.m., Jake's alarm goes off. I hear him shower, dress, stumble downstairs expecting to find his mother making breakfast. He stops in the doorway when he sees me at the kitchen table. "Dad? Why aren't you at work?" he asked. "Sit down, son," I replied. The confusion on his face shifted to concern. He's 15, all gangly limbs and acne, his voice caught between boy and man. "Is everything okay? Is Mom okay?" "Your mother." The words felt like broken glass in my throat. "Your mother left." "Left? Like, went to the store?" he asked, confusion clear in his voice. "No, Jake. She left us. She's not coming back," I answered. The silence stretched between us like a tightrope. I watched understanding dawn on his face, watched his world reorganize itself around this new reality. "What do you mean she's not coming back?" he pressed. I slid the note across the table, watched him read it, watched his face go from confusion to disbelief to something harder, older. "She left us for some guy?" "Some rich guy?" he asked, his voice rising. "Yes," I confirmed. Emma appeared in the doorway, still in her pajamas with unicorns on them. 13 years old, my baby girl, though she'd die if she heard me call her that. "What's going on? Why is everyone up?" she asked sleepily. Jake looked at me. I nodded. "Mom left," he told his sister, his voice flat and emotionless. Protective. "What do you mean left?" Emma asked, now fully awake. I explained again, showed her the note. Watched another childhood end in real time. Emma didn't cry at first. She read the note 3 times, like I did, like maybe the words would change their meaning. Then she looked at me with eyes that were so much like her mother's it physically hurt. "She left us for money?" she asked, her voice small and broken. "It's more complicated than that." I started, but Emma cut me off. "No, it's not," she said firmly. "She says it right here. He's wealthy. He can give her the life she deserves. She left us for money." The tears came then, for both of them. I pulled them close, these 2 pieces of my heart that still remained. Jake tried to be strong, but his shoulders shook. Emma sobbed openly, her face buried in my warehouse-worn flannel shirt. "Listen to me," I said when the worst of it passed. "Both of you, listen. I will never leave you, never. I will always be here, no matter what. You are my life. You are my everything. And we're going to get through this together." "I hate her," Emma whispered against my chest. "Don't," I replied, though part of me wanted to agree. "Don't waste that energy on her. We're going to focus on us, on moving forward." "Are you going to divorce her?" Jake asked quietly. "Yes." "Good," he said, and there was steel in his voice that wasn't there an hour ago. I kept them home from school. We ate breakfast together, scrambled eggs and toast, nothing fancy, but we were together. I called Harriet Brennan, an attorney I know through work connections. She could see me that afternoon. "Abandonment," Harriet said after reviewing the note. "Clear-cut case. She'll get nothing she hasn't already taken." "What about the kids?" I asked. "Given the circumstances, the note explicitly states she's leaving. No mention of the children, no indication she wants custody or even visitation. You'll get full custody. Does she have any history of mental illness? Substance abuse?" she inquired. "No," I answered. "Previous affairs?" she continued. "Not that I know of." "Well, she has one now," Harriet observed grimly. "We'll file immediately. If she doesn't contest, and based on this note, I don't think she will, it could be finalized in a matter of months." That night, I burned Melissa's note in the fireplace. Jake and Emma watched the paper curl and blacken. "She's not going to hurt us again," I told them firmly. "I promise you that." As the flames died, I thought, We built something she could never destroy, and she'll never be part of it again. 4 years, 1,460 days. That's how long it's been since Melissa traded our family for whatever Mark was selling. 4 years of double shifts and single parenting, of being two people at once, of learning that exhaustion has depths I never imagined existed. The morning after the note, I rebuilt our life from scratch. New routines, new rules, new normal. I switched to day shift permanently, taking the pay cut because being home for dinner mattered more than overtime. Joaquin understood. He had his own divorce story, his own ghosts. Jake was 15 then, angry in the way that teenage boys get angry when they can't punch the thing that hurt them. He started lifting weights in the garage, channeling rage into muscle. I bought him a weight set for Christmas that first year, second-hand but solid. We worked out together sometimes, not talking, just counting reps and breathing through the burn. He made varsity football his junior year, played defensive end like he was tackling every demon that tried to follow him home. Emma was 13, and her anger was quieter, more surgical. She threw herself into her studies with the kind of focus that worried me at first, until I realized she wasn't running from something, but toward something. Straight A's every semester, honor roll, AP classes. She joined debate team and learned to argue with precision that would make lawyers nervous. "I'm never going to depend on anyone," she told me one night over calculus homework. "Ever." "That's not—" "Emma, it's okay to trust people," I replied gently. "People like Mom?" she shot back. I didn't have an answer for that. The logistics of single parenthood hit immediately. Who picks up Emma from debate practice when I'm at work and Jake has football? How do I be in 2 places at once for parent-teacher conferences? What about the girl stuff? The things fathers aren't supposed to know about but suddenly need to. Google became my co-parent. How to French braid hair. How to talk to teenage daughters about bodies. How to remove nail polish from carpet. Mrs. Kevin next door became our emergency contact. 70 years old, raised 4 kids of her own, and absolutely zero patience for self-pity. "You show up," she told me the first time I asked for her help. "That's all. You show up every day, and eventually they stop counting the days." So I showed up. Every game, every concert, every conference. I learned to sign permission slips while making breakfast, to check homework while packing lunches. I discovered that teenage girls need an infinite supply of hair ties, and teenage boys can destroy a pair of shoes in 3 weeks flat. The warehouse became my second home, but only after my kids were taken care of. I worked 6 a.m. to 2 p.m., sometimes 3 p.m. if we were slammed. Then I'd race home, shower off the warehouse dust, and transform into whoever I needed to be: chauffeur, tutor, chef, cheerleader, disciplinarian, counselor. Dinner at 5:30, no exceptions unless there was a game or practice. We ate together at the kitchen table, the same one where the note had waited, and talked about our days. Jake learned to cook because I insisted both kids know how to feed themselves. His spaghetti was terrible at first, but by senior year, he could make a lasagna that would make you cry. Emma took over the household budget as a math project that became permanent. She found coupons and deals with the enthusiasm of a treasure hunter, tracked every expense in spreadsheets that made my head spin. "We can save $47 a month if we switch insurance companies," she announced one evening, presenting her findings like a CEO. "When did you learn about insurance?" I asked, amazed. "YouTube. Also, we're paying too much for internet," she replied matter-of-factly. Not once in 4 years did Melissa call. Not on birthdays, not on Christmas, not when Jake got his acceptance letter to Ohio State, not when Emma won the state debate championship. Her absence was so complete it felt intentional, like she wasn't just gone but had been erased from existence. The divorce finalized 8 months after she left. She didn't contest anything, didn't ask for anything, didn't show up to court. Her signature on the documents was the only proof she still existed somewhere in the world. The judge granted me full custody with no visitation rights for her. Child support was ordered but never came. I didn't chase it. I didn't want her money. I wanted her gone, and she gave me that for free. Jake turned 19 last month. 6'2", broad shoulders from football and weight training, now a sophomore at Ohio State on a partial scholarship that he earned with sweat and determination. He doesn't talk about his mother, but I found him looking at old photos once, trying to understand how someone who smiled like that in pictures could just disappear. "Do you think she ever thinks about us?" he asked quietly. "I don't know, son," I answered honestly. "I don't think about her," he declared. It was a lie, but a necessary one. Emma's 17 now, a senior, already planning her escape to college. Not from me, she assures me, but from this town, from the memories. She wants to study law at Northwestern, wants to be the kind of person who makes other people accountable for their choices. Our house runs like clockwork now. Jake takes out trash when he's home from college. Emma handles recycling. They both do their own laundry because I'm raising adults, not children. We have movie night every Friday when Jake's home. Marvel movies mostly because that's what we agree on. Saturday mornings are for household projects. We threw out the old family photos, the ones with Melissa. It was Emma's idea. "Why keep pictures of someone who doesn't exist?" she said, and into the garbage they went. We took new photos, just the three of us, Jake making bunny ears behind Emma's head, Emma mid-eye roll at one of my dad jokes, me looking tired but proud, always proud, of these two humans who chose to become warriors instead of victims. "We're better without her," Jake said one night after his last high school football game. "We're different," I corrected, "but we're solid." "Solid," Emma agreed, linking her arm through mine. "We built something she could never destroy, and she'll never be part of it again." I smell Chinese takeout when I open the front door. Orange chicken, Jake's favorite, which is weird because Jake's home from college for spring break and Emma should be at debate practice. It's Tuesday, 5:47 p.m. "Emma?" I called out, setting my keys on the hook by the door. "Why aren't you at—" The words died in my throat. She's sitting in my living room, in my chair, actually, the leather recliner I bought myself for my 47th birthday. Melissa. But not Melissa. Not the Melissa from 4 years ago, not the Melissa from the photos we threw away. This is a ghost wearing Melissa's face. Her cheekbone is bruised purple-green, days old and settling into ugly. Her hair hangs limp and unwashed, showing gray roots I've never seen before. She's thin, not healthy thin, but hollow thin. The clothes don't fit right. A cheap polyester blouse from Walmart, torn at the shoulder seam. Jeans that bag at the knees. Tennis shoes that might have been white once, but now are the gray of someone who's been walking for a long time. Jake and Emma sit on the couch facing her, and their faces tell me everything. Jake's jaw is clenched so tight I can see the muscle jumping. His hands are fists on his knees, knuckles white. At 19, he's gotten bigger, stronger. Emma sits with perfect posture, arms crossed, face carved from ice. "Hello, David," Melissa said, and her voice was smaller than I remembered, broken at the edges. "What are you doing in my house?" I demanded. "I still had my key," she replied, holding up a brass key that couldn't possibly work anymore. "It doesn't work." Emma let me in. "I wanted Dad to see what you've become," Emma stated, her voice flat as roadkill. The cruelty of it, the calculated cruelty of my 17-year-old daughter, should probably concern me. It doesn't. I walked past Melissa without looking at her, hung my jacket in the closet, took my time. When I turned back, she was crying. Silently, tears just running down her face. "You have 5 minutes," I said, checking my watch. "Starting now." "David, please," she began. 4 minutes, 55 seconds, I interrupted. She took a shuddering breath. Mark wasn't what I thought. At first, yes, it was everything. The house in Shaker Heights, the cars. He had 3 cars, David. The restaurants where they know your name and the wine costs more than groceries for a month. Jewelry, trips to Paris, Rome, beaches in Mexico. Sounds rough, Jake muttered sarcastically. Melissa flinched. It was perfect for maybe 6 months. Then he started controlling things. What I wore, who I talked to, where I went. He didn't like that I had kids. Said it made me seem old, used up. He made me get rid of all my photos of you guys. Emma made a sound that might be a laugh or something darker. He cheated, Melissa continued desperately. Constantly, openly, brought women to the house. His friends' wives pitied me at those terrible dinner parties where everyone pretends their marriages aren't transactions. 2 minutes, I announced coldly. She sped up. When I complained, he hit me. First time he apologized, bought me a necklace worth $10,000. Second time he said it was my fault. By the end, he was hitting me for anything. And you stayed, Emma observed with clinical detachment. I had nowhere to go. I'd burned everything down for him, and I thought I deserved it. For what I did to you, she admitted. 1 minute. Last month, he left me for a 23-year-old Instagram model. Kicked me out with nothing. The clothes, the jewelry, the car, all his. I've been living in my car for 2 weeks. It broke down yesterday. Time's up, I said firmly. David. She stood, unsteady. David, I want to come home. To you. To the kids. Please. I want my family back. The silence was absolute. Melissa, I said, calm as winter. You're not my wife anymore. The divorce was finalized years ago. You made your choice. Her face crumbled. I made a mistake. No, I cut her off. A mistake is forgetting to pick up milk. You made a choice. A deliberate, calculated choice to abandon your family for money. She turned to the kids, desperate. Please, I'm still your mom. Emma stood. Moms don't leave their kids, she replied icily. You're nothing to us, Jake added with finality. Stay gone. Melissa collapsed to her knees, sobbing. Please, I have nothing. I have nowhere to go. Not my problem, I stated, opening the door. Where will I go? She pleaded. Figure it out. We did, I answered. She stood on shaking legs and walked to the door. As she passed me, she whispered, I loved you. No, I replied firmly. You didn't. I closed the door, locked it, put the chain on. Through the window, we watched her disappear around the corner. This time there was no confusion, no betrayal, no wondering why. This time, we were the ones who chose. You okay? I asked my kids. Yeah, Jake answered. You? Yeah. Emma picked up the Chinese takeout menu. I'm thinking orange chicken for real now, she said. We ordered Chinese. We ate at the kitchen table. We didn't talk about Melissa. We talked about Jake's college courses, Emma's debate tournament, normal things. The ghost was gone, exorcised not with sympathy or rage, but with indifference, which was all she deserved. The Chinese food sat untouched on the coffee table, going cold while we processed what just happened. Jake kept flexing his hands, making fists and releasing them. Emma stared at the chair where Melissa had sat, my chair, like she was trying to burn it clean with her eyes. Should we have... Jake started, then stopped. What? I asked. Nothing. Never mind, he replied. Say it. He looked at me, and for a second, he wasn't my 6'2" college sophomore. He was my little boy who used to ask why mommy wasn't at his games. Should we have helped her? No, Emma said immediately. She made her choice. Emma's right, I agreed. But Jake, it's okay to feel conflicted. She's not our mother, Emma interrupted. She's just someone who gave birth to us. There's a difference. The doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw Mrs. Kevin from next door, holding a casserole dish. I saw her leave, she said when I opened the door. Figured you might not feel like cooking tonight. We ordered Chinese, I replied, but took the casserole anyway. Thank you. Mrs. Kevin looked past me to where Jake and Emma were visible. They okay? They're strong. Strength shouldn't be necessary at their age, she observed sadly. But you did good, David. You all did good. After she left, we sat back down. The chair Melissa had contaminated seemed to radiate her presence, so I dragged it to the garage. I'd sell it tomorrow. Dad, Emma said when I came back, I need to tell you something. I've been tracking her, online I mean, for about a year. Emma, I started. I needed to know if she was happy. If leaving us was worth it, she explained. And, Jake asked. She was at first. Her Facebook, she used a different name, Melissa Winters, was full of vacation photos, restaurant check-ins, designer bags. She looked like she was living her best life. When did it change? I asked. About 8 months ago. The posts got less frequent. Then 3 months ago, everything stopped. Account deactivated, she answered. That's probably when the hitting got bad, Jake said quietly. My phone buzzed. A text from an unknown number. This is Melissa. I'm at the women's shelter on 5th Street. I just wanted you to know I'm safe. I won't contact you again. I'm sorry for everything. Tell the kids I love them. I showed it to Jake and Emma. Delete it, Emma said immediately. Wait, Jake interrupted. Let me. He took my phone, typed something, hit send before I could stop him. What did you say? I asked. He handed the phone back. His response was there. We know you're sorry. It doesn't change anything. This number is being blocked now. Don't try to contact us again. I blocked the number, deleted the conversation. It was done. We finally ate the Chinese food, reheated in the microwave. Jake told us about his college courses. Emma talked about her debate topic for nationals. I'm proud of you both, I said suddenly, for who you've become. Dad, don't get weird, Emma replied, but she was smiling. I'm serious. Your mother, Melissa, leaving was the worst thing that happened to our family. But watching you two grow from it, become stronger, that's the best thing I've ever seen. We learned from the best, Jake said warmly. Later, we watched a movie, The Incredibles, Jake's choice, a family that sticks together. Dad? Emma asked during a quiet part. Yeah? Were you ever tempted to take her back? She inquired. No, not even for a second, I answered. Why not? Because she didn't just leave me. She left you two, and that's unforgivable. Jake squeezed my shoulder. Emma leaned against my other side. When they headed upstairs, I looked around at what we'd built. It's not perfect. The carpet needs replacing. There's a water stain on the ceiling. But it's ours. Hey, Dad, Jake called from upstairs. Thanks for keeping your promises. Which one? I called back. All of them, he replied. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Jake will head back to college soon. Emma has debate practice. Normal things. Family things. She made her choice 4 years ago. We made ours tonight. The door is closed. The fortress holds. 6 months have passed since that Tuesday evening when Melissa sat in my chair, the chair I sold the next day for $50. I put the money in Emma's college fund, which seemed like poetic justice, turning Melissa's last contamination into Emma's future. The news came through Mrs. Kevin. Melissa had stayed in the women's shelter for 3 weeks, then disappeared. Someone saw her at a truck stop heading west. Someone else heard she was waitressing in Indiana, living above a bar. The stories conflicted until the truth didn't matter anymore. What mattered was that she was gone. Jake's back at Ohio State for his sophomore year, calling home every Sunday like he promised. He's still playing football, majoring in engineering, dating a girl named Sarah who seems to genuinely like him for him. When he introduced us over video call, I could see something in his eyes. Trust. She reminds me of no one, he told me privately, and I understood. Sarah was nothing like Melissa. Emma's senior year is flying by. Early admission to Northwestern for pre-law, with enough scholarship money to make it work. She's student body president, still crushing debate tournaments. The house runs smoother with just Emma and me. Quieter, but smoother. We've developed our own rhythm. She cooks Tuesdays and Thursdays. I handle the other nights. Saturdays are for house projects. Sundays are for meal prep and calling Jake. You ever think about dating? Mrs. Kevin asked me last week. No time, I answered, which was partly true. Emma leaves for college soon, she pointed out. I know. Maybe someday, but not yet. The last word about Melissa came through lawyers. Mark was suing her for theft, jewelry she'd taken. The lawsuit went nowhere because she had nothing to take. Tonight, Emma's at her last high school debate tournament. State finals again. She's arguing about justice reform, about how the greatest punishment is letting people live with the consequences of their decisions. She wins, of course. Another trophy, another scholarship, another step toward her future. After, we go to Denny's, her choice, breakfast for dinner. I saw her, she said suddenly. What? Who? I asked, startled. Mom, Melissa. Last weekend at the mall, she clarified. My heart stopped. Why didn't you tell me? Because it doesn't matter. She was working at one of those kiosks, phone cases. She looked small, Emma replied calmly. Did she see you? I asked. Yeah. We made eye contact. I kept walking. She kept working. End of story. Emma showed me a blurry photo her friend took. Melissa at a mall kiosk, wearing a red polo with a name tag. She looked older, grayer, smaller indeed. Delete it, I said. Already did. Just wanted you to see. We won, Dad. We won by moving on, by being okay. And she got exactly what she deserved, Emma concluded with satisfaction. She traded love and loyalty for money and lust. When she came crawling back, bruised and broken, we gave her the only thing she deserved, the door. And that's the end of today's story. If you enjoyed it, please give this video a thumbs up and drop a comment below. Your support helps the algorithm push my content further. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep creating more stories for you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.